Good evening, Style fans. Hello, everyone. Welcome to tonight's featured match. It seems we've got on our hands the final match of the Rumble stage across the board here for Style Esports. Which team will be moving on to the semifinals? Which team will have to duke it out in the lower bracket in the knockout stage? That will be decided here tonight. We are in the Demacia division. We've got Esports Caps UQTR on the blue side. We've got Team Death Knights Blue on the red. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Tiger58 once again. And here we are in picks and bans of game number 1 between these two diamond ranked teams about to duke it out. Tiger58, you ready?
Yeah, I'm excited about this one, as I always am. We've had a bunch of good matches in the past week, Shinkari. We've had the
Mm-hmm.
past two together, and I'm excited for some more action on the Rift. These teams, I know that I've casted for both of them before. I feel a little bit more familiar with the Team Death Knights blue side, but
Mm-hmm.
I always like to see teams that I've casted before and get to cast them again.
Yeah, I mean, this we've definitely seen a whole lot of esports caps, UQTR as well, and their sister team. These are two real great folks to duke it out. Vision of Empire, I'm excited to see in that top lane again. Srisai, we've seen a whole lot in the mid lane as well. Cypher Soul, Saber's waifu, like you said, Team Death Knights Blue. We've seen a lot of them, recently. So it's always exciting to see some repeat performances here from our players here in Style Esports. But here we go. Got our first picks here. I know you're big into red side, so we're already seeing some counter picks maybe coming out for Team Death Knights Blue here. What do you think of the picks and bans so far?
I'm a little bit curious about this Mordekaiser first pick. I'm wondering if it's being used as a flex between jungle and top, potentially. Could even be a flex towards mid lane, theoretically. But I think that as a first pick, Mordekaiser isn't exactly the thing that I would normally be looking out for when
Mm-hmm.
compared to something like a Seraphine or a Maokai that's available right now. But I
Yeah.
think that with the matchups that have been locked in so far, I think that the Silas going to get a pretty decent value out of the ulti available. And the Yone lock, and I guess that pushes the Sejuani into either jungle or support. I think Sejuani's an alright support, but I haven't seen many people playing
Mm-hmm.
Sejuani support. So I'm inclined to think that it's just the bot lane of Team Death Knights that is yet to be picked.
Yeah, and I think that's mostly fine here. I think my only problem is that Esports Caps has already been banning out a lot of bottom laners here, and we see already a ban from Team Death Knights Blue as well to ban away an AD carry in the first half. Right now, we're seeing Jinx and Kog'Maw banned away in the second half here, so there are already so many bans for the bot lane coming into this second half, and now with the second half here, we're having more bot laners and bot lane duos for that matter banned away from both sides here. So we're really going to have to see if Diamond, Saber's waifu, Cap's Piece, and Cap's Turtles here really dig deep into their, or at least Cap's Pieces, at least, has to dig deep into their champion pool in order to find some stellar picks for themselves. But it looks like it's going to be Senna for Team Death Knights Blue here.
Senna can kind of work with some of these other picks, make them flexible towards the bot lane. I mean, I have never seen something like a Senna Yone or Senna Silas lane before, but that's the kind of champion that does actually work pretty well with Senna, so I wonder if that's putting some more flexibility in. I was going to say that I thought that Aphelios was going to be the pick alongside this Lulu for peace, but actually going to be the Kaisa still does pretty well with what appears to be at three dive heavy bruisers on the rest of the team. I wonder if that does actually put the Mordekaiser in the mid lane. They can look to do some specific champion matchups here with the flexibility. Mordekaiser and Volibear, both potential junglers. Set can go to either of the solo lanes, so they can kind of look at these champions. And oh boy, it's time. We are finally getting our first Cassante game.
Yeah. I think Crewman and I have casted Cassante a couple times. So that this is like the third time I've seen Cassante for style, but I think this is the first time you're seeing Cassante here for sure. So this is truly exciting here. I mean, Cassante is an interesting character for sure. That ultimate converts his resistances, removes his resistances, and caps out his HP, turns his resistances into attack damage, converts his bonus HP into Omnivamp. It certainly is an interesting character for sure. I think is in the about the same tier as like the Aatrox and the Riven, where they have like the multi-hit combos you want to land, and then their ultimate is very similar to how Ragnarok used to work for Olaf.
Yeah, I think Cassante
well?
is going to be put as the farming champion in the bot lane here.
I don't blame you.
With
I'm
the
quite
Senna
strong.
just being a fasting Senna, I think
Interesting.
that makes the most sense to me. So that's what TDK is going to be running, and that'll make it so that they're a little bit weaker on the early stages of the game. They're maybe going to be exposed to a little bit of harassment. I mean, Kaisa and Lulu aren't going to be the most heavy harassing champions, but they will have a slight range advantage. So it'll be up to the Senna of that lane to make sure that the health bars are doing pretty alright. And we'll have to see if there's going to be any ganks towards the bot lane, because I think that that's going to be the area of the map where these champions are going to want to fight the most heavily for the early advantages. I mean, if it is Silas versus Volibear, that kind of has a lot of contest as well, and that should be pretty back and forth, I think. I have not seen Silas versus Volibear either. The flexibility of these picks in this draft, that's something that I'm already appreciating out of these teams.
Yeah, I mean that was kind of the big thing that kind of caught my eye, especially in the second half. Now, Team Death Knights Blue locked in Senna, the first pick of
We must all make our
the
choices.
second half of the phase. Is phase 2, right? So first pick phase 2 Senna
What's
is
the worst
still an
that could
incredibly
happen?
flexible pick in that bottom lane, right? Senna has been able to go into the 80 carry slot, or like you said, is might be happening this time where we're going to see the Cassante and Senna down in the bottom lane with that fasting Senna, right? And so it's just really interesting to see here that this is how this is going to play out here. Really, really interesting realm of play for sure. But yeah, like you said, we're still some flexibility across even Esports Caps UQTR's team here, because Mordekaiser and Set being locked in the first half still kind of says like, hey, I mean, we can kind of put the Set anywhere. Mordekaiser is flexible between top and jungle, and then having that Volibear locked in last still kind of opens you up to some flexibility as well. So, lots of good things, not completely showing your hand to either team with a lot of these picks here. I think it's been pretty good way to kind of keep where your characters are going close to your chest.
I really like the flexing the pick of Sejuani to jungle and having 3 melee champions. That's going to help set up a lot of ganks here for TDK. I think that they're going to be in position to look for getting some of the early kills on the board, and if they can get them, then they have a bunch of champs that are pretty snowbally. I mean, Silas, if he can get a kill, becomes very difficult to kill back. Yone with a kill is the same situation, but probably also gets more kill pressure out of getting an early kill. And then Cassante Senna are even more of the same. Like, all of these champions are pretty snowbally from TDK, so I think that I'm gonna have my eyes on Cypher Soul's pathing to see if that's going to be a lot of ganks coming through. We saw recently a triple lane gank. I think that
Yeah.
something like that could be in order again.
Yeah, I mean, this is really really interesting to see. I mean, I don't know if we'll see the triple gank. I don't know if we'll see the 3-lane gank again. I mean, we saw that on an Echo. I don't know if we'll be able to see that on Zedster, on the Mordekaiser. A little less mobile on that champion. Um, but yeah, it should be interesting for sure. I think we'll definitely see it maybe a little bit more on the Sejuani. Sejuani does have some solid early ganks. This is a very, very good team composition for both sides for sure. I think I want to throw it to you. We've talked about the flexibility of both these comps. We talked about kind of a lot of the changes we've seen in season 13 preseason with regards to the jungle opting for full clears. I think what do you want to talk about this Cassante in the bot lane? Do you think this is something that's going to be able to be successful, especially against the Kaisa and the Lulu?
I think that it makes sense as a pick, but I don't think that it's gonna lead to like a winning lane. It's more of like a scaling pick.
Mm-hmm.
Not that Cassante is like a hyper scaler by any means. I think that they like get outscaled also by Kaisa Lulu. So it's kind of like a weird situation where they don't win lane and they get outscaled, but the utility value of Senna and Cassante is immense. Like in the mid game, you can always find cross map Senna ultimates to impact a skirmish. So that's something that you got to keep in mind if you're on the rest of the map. And Cassante is going to do a really good job of setting up this Yone. So I think that there's going to be uh, a lot of the carry potential from this game for TDK is going to come out for Sri size Yone. I think that that's who they're looking to carry this game. But on the
Mm-hmm.
other side, Peace is probably going to get plenty of opportunity to scale up, get to the late game hyper carry stage on this Kaisa, and have an enchanter behind. So that's who I'm looking to carry for Caps.
All right, then you have our predictions here from definitely these two interesting team comps of who's going to carry this game. We are going to throw it to just a quick break, and when we come back, we're going to be on the rift of game number 1 of Esports Caps UQTR and Team Death Knights Blue. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, Style fans. Welcome back to Style Esports. Welcome to Summoner's Rift, and welcome to the game number one of our featured match of this evening. Esports Caps UQTR is on the blue side, and Team Death Knights Blue is on the red. We are ready to get the last Rumble stage match of the Demacian League and of Season 13 playoffs ready to get underway. We've got a 5-point start on both sides. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Tiger58. We're about to get this game underway. Tiger, are you ready?
Yeah, I'm just thinking with these team comps as a whole, look at how many melee champions there are. Look at how short range everyone is. There's just going to be in team fights, everyone's going to be in the same spot on your screen. There's so much AoE, there's so much overlap. It should be exciting to watch if we can get into those 5v5s. A lot of potential for skirmishing as well here. I think that we're going to see a lot of back and forth between these teams in this first game.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, there's a total of 7 melee champions in this game right now. 7 out of 10, all melee. So this is, like you said, this is going to be a really bit of a, excuse my French, but a bit of a clusterfuck when we get to the team fights in the mid game here for sure, with so many people stacked on top of each other, like you said. So with how short range Lulu and Kaisa are, that's definitely not helping out anymore. As Saber's waifu has taken so much damage here.
Trying to clear that ward. It's the classic support battle for the ward. You have to try, but unfortunately that's going to lead to a pretty rough trade. Got some sustain, though. Got some healing off of that Q, so that's going to be okay for now. And looks like we're going to get full clear coming out from Cypher Soul, so a little bit slower towards that first gank, but going to be ready for it once you get there.
Yeah, for sure. And now we're kind of seeing the issues with this lane here is as Cassante is just taken so incredibly low in this bot lane here, and Saber's waifu is just kind of forced to kind of stem the bleeding as best as they can here. And it's really tough for Senna in these early levels, right? Senna is a scaling champion. She wants to go later. She wants to be able to grab those souls and get more and more powerful as the game goes on. But these first early levels here are definitely going in the favor of Kaisa and Lulu here.
Yeah, I think that it's more so than the matchup. It's that trade is kind of like dictating the lane right now, because going in, trying to clear that ward in that brush, they ended up taking a huge chunk of health, especially on Saber's waifu, which meant that they really didn't have a lot of opportunity to trade back, because usually in the Senna lanes, the way that you stay even on the trades is that whenever someone walks up to try to hit the farming melee champion, then Senna's just trading back all the time, and if you can keep the trades pretty short, then the healing from the Q does pretty well. But when Senna's already poked out of the lane, then it becomes a lot harder to get back up and farm it up. Although, that being said, a pretty good job is being done by Diamond of staying on pace with the farm. So despite having that rough early stage, I think the potions were able to help set them back up to be all right.
Yeah, and the Doran shield is probably there as well, helping them out. As like you said, you know, we're getting a little bit more. We're able to recover from all that, but we do have a gank in the mid lane though. They're going to throw out the third Q down to the bot lane as well, but it looks like a bit of a wash down there as Diamond here dives onto Cap's piece here, forcing the flash away. The little bit of a shield is going to give them some space, but now they're switching over to Turtles here. Swaps the target, knocks them closer, but can they finish off the kill? It's not going to happen this time. It's a wash in the mid lane and in the bot lane as well.
Yeah, pretty close trades there. Diamond showing a lot of mastery of such a young champ of Cassante, having only been around for a little while, but still doing well to land the triple Qs, doing well to get a little bit of extra value on the Pathfinder as well. I think that we're going to see a lot more trading go down there, but the resets are going to stop the all-ins from being fatal just yet.
Yeah, Rorschach's doing a whole bunch of damage on a Vision of Empire up in the top lane there. We're seeing a lot of power in this early game. I don't think anyone needs needs to be told about how good PTA press the attack is in these early levels here, especially on the volley bear as well, and how quickly they are able to stack up that minus to their defenses there. So Vision of Empire forced it back, immediate teleport here. Gonna be able to get them back into lane, but they're still down a pretty significant amount of CS at this stage, about 18. That's nearly 3 waves worth of gold right there. That's not exactly ideal.
Yeah, I think that this matchup in the top lane is a little bit more one-sided than I expected. And I was hoping that we would see a lot of ganks from Cypher Soul. It's just been the one in the mid lane so far, and it hasn't been that impactful. No kills, obviously, just yet. No kills either side, but I think that a top lane gank might be in order here.
Yeah, Vision of Empire just having a little bit of an issue here as he chains onto Rorschach here, but I think he might have bitten off a little bit more than he could chew. But here comes Cypher Solon from the side, forcing out the flash from Rorschach here. Not going to be able to get that last bit of damage there, so they're going to have to back away. Diamond down in the bot lane here, looking for Cap's piece here. Maybe they can find it. The third knockup lands onto Kaisa here. That's going to be the snare coming down from Senna, but do they have the damage to finish it off, or is Diamond trapped in here with Peace instead? And it's going to be first blood going over to Cap's piece.
Yeah, we'll see if Rorschach ends up getting out here. Has ult available.
Yeah, they're going to turn off the turret there. There's the re-engage by Rorschach there, but they're not going to be able to find the kill. They're trading kill in the top lane for the Chemtech Drake down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, pretty even trade. I think that getting that kill back is going to help the Vision of Empire feel a little bit better in this lane. Did go on to Cypher Soul, so that means that it's not going to be hugely impactful in the 1v1 top, but that should give Cypher Soul some more opportunities to clear around the map, maybe come back around towards that top lane. But once again, all the lanes pretty gankable. Level 6 now for Cypher Soul as well is going to make a lot of these ganks work out a lot more efficiently.
Yeah, it's definitely important, and having that excuse me, the Volley Bear ultimate readily available to you up in that top lane is going to make those ganks for Cypher Soul definitely a lot better to execute on. And yeah, for sure, as now we're starting to see the gold just even out just a little bit more, but that's still 500 gold separating these two teams, and I gotta see if it's mostly in this top lane here. Yeah, it's about 200 of it is up in the top lane there, so yeah, we're still gonna need a little bit more support for our Silas up in the top lane here, maybe to even out this gold here.
Yeah, I think that Silas is pretty slippery, so he's probably going to be alright to be left alone. A lot of top laners are pretty good at just navigating the 1v1 as well, being on a little bit of an island. But right now, I think Zedster should feel like is a pretty good spot. Just being allowed to scale up, that's the kind of play that Mordekaiser wants to go for. Picking up that first Drake as well. Gonna have the Rift Herald now to put towards the mid lane. Things are going well in the world of Caps.
Yeah, like you said, ooh, wait a minute, Showstopper on the street side here, but he's gonna get pulled back to his little ghost there. Zedster has shown up at the bottom into the mid lane here. Meanwhile, on the bot lane, we do have the Diamond or something. That didn't land that third Q here, so not gonna be able to get that full engage as they would have liked. Still, I think the big thing to talk about here is just how kind of uncontested Zedster has been able to get these first objectives here. Vision of Empire, Rorschach in the jungle here, they're going to be able to get away.
Yeah, so we'll see if there's going to be any more fighting around that top side. I'm trying to get a little bit of an invade off, but doesn't seem to have gotten any camps off of it. Still, getting the pressure out there can't be too bad. Now level 6 isn't even in the bot lane. That should help Saber's waifu into Diamond in this matchup because the ultimates that they have available to them, I think they're a little bit stronger. We'll see if the 1v1 goes anywhere here in the top lane.
Yeah, Vision of Empire does have the Shadow Realm here, and Zedster is taken incredibly low. Cypher Soul might be able to find something here, but Rorschach is just sticking to them like glue. That's gonna be the ultimate coming across. Vision of Empire snipes out at flashes out at just the right moment here, and now they're looking for peace. They've gotten a decent chunk of damage, and Vision of Empire are looking for more, but that slam is way too good. Gonna dash right in. Cypher Soul picks up a kill in the top lane. It's 2 for none on the top lane here. We got some pressure down to the bot as well. Finally, some gold in the favor of Team Death Knights Blue.
Yeah, good roam coming out from Sri to help cover the bottom lane. And meanwhile, the 2v2 in the top side, 2 kills going over, 2 Team Death Knights. They're able to find the outplays there. Credit to Vision of Empire for understanding the matchup, understanding that Zedster didn't have any juice left after dropping the Obliterate, so that it was still safe to go in, try to land the Abduct on the back end of the play, find the CC chain, and set up another kill. 2-0-1 now for Cypher Soul, feeling pretty good. Heartsteel complete. That's going to do a lot of work in these upcoming team fights.
Yeah, and Heartsteel, this is the item that everyone that has become the new boogeyman of League of Legends. Heartsteel being a very powerful item. It just kind of signals to the entire enemy team. It's like, hey, you got to stop doing what you're doing and start building anti-tank items, because otherwise this Sejuani is going to be way too tanky for you to deal with. And Sejuani is already a character that scales really, really well with items. She's a hyper carry when it comes to being a tank. And this is going to be, you know, something to just kind of flip a switch in Esports Cap's mind if they want to be able to deal with the Sejuani come late game.
Yeah, a lot of the times we think we'll get a fight here first.
Oh, yeah, Sri taking it below half HP, forced to flash underneath the turret here. Aim down is taking up a lot of turret damage, but not able to secure the kill on the Sri here, so it looks like they're just going to back away, but we have to keep our eyes on the mid lane for just a little bit longer, because Volibear is looking for something there, but down in the bot lane, Diamond and Saber's waifu definitely looking for something, but that's going to be the engage on the Sri here. Going to have to use that Fate Seal in order to get away, so they're going to be able to get away from that sticky situation here. But the teams are still kind of converging onto this Dragon spot regardless, as Zedster pulls the Diamond into the Shadow Realm here. Yami no Gemu gets that third hit of the Q here, but does not have the defenses to tank through Zedster's damage as they go down, and they're going to die inside the Shadow Realm. As now Rorschach is going to be able to find a kill on Sejuani on the backside here. That's going to be because Sejuani going down to Kaisa, actually. Zedster still in this fight, still healthy enough to secure another kill. 4 for 0 so far. Rorschach is looking for more. He does have that Volibear ultimate available to him if he wants to use it, but it doesn't look like they want to turret dive just yet. They're going to be able to back away. It's 4 for nothing. They're going to get the Cloud Drake to boot. That's 3 out of the 4 early objectives for Esports Cap's UQTR, kind of snuffing out whatever hope the Team Death Knight Blue had of winning this early game.
Yeah, sneaky little 5v5 coming up there on the bottom side of the map, setting up around that Drake. First 2 now have gone over to UQTR. They're going to be in good position to complete their scaling. I think that they're pretty far ahead now at this point. Just being up 2k is plenty, and their scaling is just going to show more and more. I think that it's going to become difficult to approach them because they're going to have champions that are hard to kill inherently, and when you walk up towards them, you're always under threat of just getting scooped back. You can get hit with the Flash Showstopper, you can get hit with the Shadow Realm, you can get hit with just about anything, and that's going to start a fight on terms that are not favorable. So it's going to require a lot of patience here from TDK if they're going to be able to start making their way back from behind.
Yeah, for sure. As this is we also have another Heartsteel coming out for set as well here. Definitely getting that empowered auto attacks. It's definitely going to be good for the set there. But yeah, like you said, this kind of we were talking so much about how well the red team scales. We didn't really talk about how well the blue team does, but give that just a moment, because Vision of Empire 1v1ing Rorschach up in the top lane here. Fate Seals is going to come out. That's going to be a little bit of burst damage to try to turn something around, but Sri is going to be able to find that kill up in the top lane here. But look at this, the rest of the blue team looking to converge because Vision of Empire is below half HP, but here comes the duel onto Zedster here, pulls Sri into the Shadow Realm here. Is taking a whole lot of damage. I don't think he's got the defenses in order to deal with this Mordekaiser either. He's going to be able to get out of the Shadow Realm A-OK, and now they're going to be able to finish off Zedster. That's going to be the showstopper. Haymaker, not going to be able to find it. Dash back in for the Sri for the extra CC. They're getting him real low. Vision of Empire is going to be able to seal the deal up in the top lane. 3 for nothing at the end of the day.
Well, I guess that you don't have to be too patient when you can make plays like that. And right back to even on the gold now is TDK. They're able to get more kills even on towards Cypher Soul. Sri's done really well with the roams. I think there's been 3 roams so far. Definitely 2 that have reached all the way to the side lanes. but Srisai is finding good agency around the map. Going to be getting close to that first item. Looks like it's going to be Blade of the Ruin King coming out here, unless it's just going to be a garage sale to set up for an Immortal Shield Bow. But I think that Blade of the Ruin King most likely, well, whatever the case, Risai has been using those boots to get around the map effectively. So whenever you go for those tier 2 boots early, important to get value out of them, and definitely that's what we're seeing here.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, it is still important that we haven't seen a first turret taken by any team here, so we'll have to keep our eyes on which of these lanes are pushing because, you know, we're seeing up in the top lane with Rorschach here, and, you know, we're seeing that him just constantly shoving this wave here, so eventually we'll probably see this top lane turret taken by the blue team here. That might be where first turret is, but Srisai in the mid lane, going to get exhausted by turtles here, be able to get away after popping that Shirelia's battle song, actually taken down this time.
Well, Cypher Soul picked up the Rift Herald, I've just noticed, and we'll see where that's going to be dropped. We talked about the first turret. I think that that's going to bring it down. But
whoa, okay, I've never seen that interaction before. Aim Down tried to use Haymaker at the same time that Srisai was pulled back to his soul, and I guess you become intargetable during that, so he just wasn't in the Showstopper, but the Showstopper animation just kept going, so, yeah, Srisai comes out of that exchange A-okay, so not going to be too much of an issue there. As now we might see something of a gank onto this bot lane here, maybe a turret dive, as we see both the mid lane and the jungler making their way down here, but it looks like they're just looking their eyes onto the Drake that is spawning in about 30 seconds here.
Shinkari, I can explain the interaction. So what happened was that Set used ultimate and had the target on Yone, obviously. But before it connected, the chain back to Yone's E was recast, so he was pulled back out of it. But Set's ult does not follow, so it ended up just missing, essentially, but it still goes through for the full animation.
Yeah, we do have a fight here down in the bot lane, though, as they get pulled into the Shadow Realm here. Diamond is in a whole lot of trouble here. Going to be taking a whole lot of damage, but going to be healed up by the Senna on the other side. There's Diamond's going to be able to kill Zedster, and Sejuani is going to be able to find the kill onto Kaisa here, as Diamond has popped that ultimate here, but can't quite find the damage in order to finish them off here. So they're going to be able to back away here. This is important. 2 for none, and they're going to be taking down the jungler, which is important. And now 1.2k gold in the lead. They're going to be able to secure the first dragon for their team here. Team Death Knights Blue comes out big. Going to be able to slay the first Hextech Drake for the map and the first dragon for their team.
Did you see all those dashes Cassante was doing in the Shadow Realm? This is a certified 2022 moment. This is the champions that we're getting these days. Shinkari is just jumping around. Zedster's been having a hard time because everybody's been jumping around on him. The Shadow Realm is full of people that Mordekaiser can't get on top of this game. So that's been kind of like a soft check to the Mordekaiser pick, is just having so much mobility that he can't even finish off the kills in the 1v1. A decent amount of durability as well, with these champs being a lot of bruisers or melee champions that have some healing at the very least. But the amount of targets that are actually valid targets for Zedster right now are pretty low, and like maybe just Saber as waifu is the opportunity to get the kill. Zedster's still in an okay spot, but having a little bit of difficulty there.
Yeah, Srisai doing a whole bunch of damage to Aim Down in the mid lane here, and this is starting to see the kind of the turnaround that I hope that the Team Death Knights Blue was hoping for, right? They finally get that first turret down. They finally get, or it's not first turret, they're going to get the first turret for their team at least down, and this game is starting to swing in their favor as well. 1.3k gold in the lead right now is Team Death Knights Blue. They're still able to get some solid wins for themselves, and Diamond is only getting more powerful from here, right? This Iceborne Gauntlet is going to be insanely hard to deal with. Vision of Empire facing some contention up in the top lane here. Going to use that Everfrost in order to get away from Rorschach. But yeah, this is something to keep our eyes on because this game is going to constantly continue to tick, and the longer this game goes, I think it's in favor of the red team here.
Yeah, I think that they're going to have a lot of opportunity to set things up if they get the long game. That's not the way they want to set things up, though. I think,
Yeah, Glacial Prison not able to land there. They also had an engage from Cassante as well, looking for the support at least, but they were able to find neither. Luckily for Cypher Soul and for Team Death Knights Blue, that cooldown is actually kind of low, and you can kind of see that it's almost at half already. It's about a minute, a little bit longer than a minute on that cooldown there, so should still be fine by the time it comes back up.
Yeah, so back to the scaling point, I think that if you just take an average player on all of the champs, I agree that the scaling looks better if you are Team Death Knights. But I think if you had perfect players on every champion, then Kaisa is the best of the late game champions here, and especially against a lot of short range champions, she's probably going to have decent.
We do have the showstopper in the mid lane here. Aim down is going to be in some problems. That's a whole lot of damage right there. They've used a few ultimates as well. Cypher Soul is going to be on a rampage here, picking up the kill in the mid lane.
Yeah, getting a kill, and that's going to be another pretty good one. 1-1 and 6 for Srisai, 6-1 and 3 for Cypher Soul. A lot of participation in this mid-jungle area, and now Srisai going to look for more.
Yeah, that's going to be the Shurelia's battle song popped here to get Pap's Peace and Turtle out of there. So it looks like they're just going to have to back away here. Don't want to stick around for too long, but that was real good heads-up play by Lulu there in order to get her team out of that sticky situation there.
Yeah, so a lot of plays being made around the map. Looks like with the 3 bot, or well, only 2 bot now, but still getting the push in the bot lane is going to mean that tower's going to take some damage. Just going to be the reset and try instead of trying to stay around and take it. They can reset and use the hex gates to get back out in order to contest this Drake. I think that both sides would, in an ideal world, like to take this Drake. It's not just a mad Drake, it's a good Drake. It's like getting to soul points going to be pretty good. Equaling up the Drakes, that's also pretty good. So both of these teams probably going to be looking towards this one. Looks like making their way through mid lane is going to be the call for Team Death Knights.
Yeah, and the goal difference between these two teams is only 1,000, so this is still a pretty close game considering where we're at. Vision of Empire diming on the aims down here. Might be able to find something for himself, but it's going to be a 3v1 on that half of the map. As we look over to Diamond fighting Rorschach here, Zedster is going to pull them into the Shadow Realm. It's hard to see who got targeted, though. It looks like it's Saber, his wife, who's no one has fallen in this whole pretty long and staged fight here. That's going to be the ultimate coming across from Saber's waifu in order to save Diamond there as they come out of the Shadow Realm, as Diamond is going to be the one picking up the kill there, and Vision of Empire goes down to Kaisa on the back end there, but 2 for 1 so far in favor of the red team. They might be able to collapse onto these low health members of the blue team and get the kill if they play it right, but it looks like they're just going to be clearing out waves in the mid lane.
That was kind of a battle between the Vision of Empire and Zedster to see who could occupy the other team's time better, and it was won out by Vision of Empire. Vision of Empire does end up going down, but that allows the rest of the team to finish off Zedster, finish off Rorschach as well. So that's going to be a win in the dragon count and a win in the kill count in favor of Team Death Knights. They're going to be now in a position where I think that they've got pretty solid control of the game here. Cypher Soul's in a really strong spot now with the heart steal starting to stack up. That's going to just get more and more oppressive as the game continues.
Yeah, this Sejuani now sitting on a Warmogs now. I do actually want to see how much HP this Sejuani has. 4,698. Yeah, that's a lot. That's a lot of HP she's got there. Not a whole lot of magic resist, but it's not a whole lot of magic damage to be resisting there. So shouldn't be the end of the world if this Sejuani doesn't build any magic resist this time around. But I do want to keep an eye on that the longer this game goes on, because like that is an item that we've been seeing a whole lot of people just being like, oh yeah, this is the item that needs to be nerfed. This is the tank item that's being super oppressive in the preseason. So, this is definitely a big item that we want to keep our eyes on, especially as these 80 carries continue to itemize here. As we take a look at what Kaisa's building, looking like she's building that LDR as F3 in the bot lane. Gonna have to use that Fate Shield in order to get away there. Taken incredibly low, though. Cypher Soul in the Shadow Realm over the top lane against Zedster here. Might be able to find something here as they're pulled out. Yami no Gameu not going to find any sort of kill this time, but they're going to be able to collapse onto Cap's Turtles here. They have used an ultimate. That's going to be Wild Growth coming across as well. That's going to be the Senna ultimate, securing just a little bit more damage. The TP coming in from Rorschach here. Going to be able to steal that Volibear ultimate for Silas there, going to take it incredibly low. Rorschach is going to go down. The red team's still incredibly healthy here, but they're all sitting inside Zedster's big circle here. He might be able to do something as he's inside the Shadow Realm one more time. Srisai is going to be taken low, but not taken out. Cypher Soul is going to be picking up the kill there, and it's 3 for nothing. And now they're on the Baron.
Yeah, I mean, Zedster tried to start the fight onto Cypher Soul, but Cypher Soul just couldn't be bothered to fight him in the Shadow Realm. You just can't force this Sejuani to do anything. Just an immovable object, really. And after trying to find that fight, that ends up giving over 3 kills in the Baron. So big ups here for TDK. They're going to be able to start pushing in towards these tier 2 towers. There's a lot of standing gold on the map for them to collect, so I wouldn't be surprised to see the gold lead out to around 8,000 at the end of this Baron.
Yeah, Cap's aim down is now looking a little stuff here, and he's going to throw out the Haymaker and the Showstopper to try to get away, but he's going to be rooted up by the Senna and taken down as Zedster comes in through the Hextech gate, but might have bitten off a little bit more than he can chew here and doesn't want to really participate in that fight anymore. Immediately leaves. The rest of the team is going to book it as well as Vision of Empire taking some damage from Peace. This is going to be, we're going to have to keep our eyes on this Baron power play here, because these teams a little while ago were only separated by 1,000, and now the lead is looking closer to 5.5.
We just saw the opposite interaction of what we had before. So this time we had the Showstopper, and it connects before the Fate Shield can go through, which means that the suppression blocks the Fate Shield from actually moving at all. And that means that Srisai gets locked up, brought back. But unfortunately for aim down, it would have been better if he could have missed and gone back without bringing Srisai, because Srisai kind of strong right now. 2-1-9, got 2 items complete, able to take down the solo kill there and continue the push with this Baron.
Yeah, for sure. Is yeah, I mean, you gotta shout out. Sometimes we complain here about the spaghetti code that is run by League of Legends, but you gotta hand it off to the designers sometimes, because they have to code interactions like that, and so the narrow windows for those things are incredible here. Zedster is going to pull Cypher Soul into the Shadow Realm here. Vision of Empire is going to go golden outside, and they're trying to keep alive for as long as they can until their tank comes back. Now the fight has begun. Vision of Empire here looking for something, but Cap's aim down is going to take them down. A Cypher Soul over the wall is going to go down as well, but Rorschach is looking to follow them. The Lightning Storm is going to take them down, and Volibear is going to kill the Sejuani here as the Diamond is looking to live through this. Saber's wife, who's trying to keep them alive as best they can, but it's 4v1. The back tried to happen by Theone, and it is successful, so they're back in the pit here. So, but look at the Diamond taken incredibly low, shut down by Kaisa. Saber's waifu is next, and nowhere to go, no hope left to live. It's 4 for nothing, and this time it's in favor of Esports Caps UQTR.
Yeah, I've just thought of that with Jack Show complete. Now Zedster ulting Cypher Soul, you don't actually have to win the fight. You just have to not die. And then when you come back out, you have all of the extra resistances that you just stole away from the Sejuani, who has a lot of resistances. And then you're going to be able to go about the rest of the fight being pretty much unkillable, just trying to fight off the rest of the enemy team. And what we've been seeing a lot before is just the entirety of TDK standing in the circle. And now standing in the circle not looking so good. Gonna have to switch up the strategies a little bit here and maybe have a little bit more spread out as a team so that you're not getting AoE'd by the entirety of the enemy team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it is going to be something to keep our eyes on for sure. I mean, that Jock Show item is another one of those. I don't want to say it is the boogeyman, but it is another one of those items that that folks have been taking a look at and just be like, hey, these new tank itemization are maybe a little too powerful. And Jock Show is definitely up there in power, like you said, steals away resistances and is really good for that Mordekaiser in exactly the way that you said. You know, this is second you're pulled into the Shadow Realm, you're just able to just steal all of those resistances away and then come out an unstoppable monster. Which is, you know, Mordekaiser's already looking to do that with a kill, but now he just doesn't need to do that anymore. And he's also got the demonic embrace as well as the revitalized crystal scepter. There's a lot to be very scared of for this Mordekaiser here.
Yeah, the other part of that last fight is that Peace has been silently scaling up on this Kaisa, but LDR being complete was absolutely massive. The 3-item power spike cannot be overstated when you are picking up that anti-tank item into 4 melee champions. It's going to be doing a lot of work throughout the rest of the game. Able to get that 3rd Drake as well, so Soul coming up on the next Drake here in 3 minutes. That means that Caps are in a good position. I think both teams are in an alright position, and we should be in for some big, close battles throughout the rest of this game.
Yeah, for sure. I think the big item that stands out for me is this Gargoyle Stone Plate being built for the Diamond here. That is an insanely good item for... Oh, wait a minute. We might have an easy kill on the Turtles here. Oh, no. They tried to get away. They popped everything, but the 3rd Q of Cassante is going to knock them towards the team. They picked up another kill. This Baron is spawning in 20 seconds. Do you think we're going to see another Baron play?
It's well within the realm of possibility. Srisai does not have teleport, so I don't think that they're going to immediately start it up. But if they put some pressure around it and let Srisai push out the other lanes, then they're going to be in a good position to set themselves up to either take it or go towards the Drake. But it looks like they are starting it up immediately on spawn.
Yeah, so they're going to start up this Baron here. They have the numbers advantage. Turtles is not spawning for another 8 seconds here. So if they want to get into this pit, the time to do it was yesterday. And it looks like they weren't able to do it. So that's going to be the Baron pick up for the red team here. Another chance for them to get a significant gold lead, or at least take down some of these inner turrets now, which are going to be a little bit harder to press into, especially with the waves not shoving in their favor here. But they are going to get this mid one. Just from the minions pushing naturally. So they have only the top and the bot inners left on the map here. Let's see how they decide to split up, or if they decide to split up the objectives here.
Yeah, it's possible to just give this Drake if you are capped. I mean, with the Baron pushing out these waves is going to be pretty easy. Looks like priority and vision control around this pit is going to be in favor of TDK. And they're going to be able to get their resets off as well, take the rest of the advantage of their gold lead. We'll see if it does get contested. I wouldn't be surprised to see that. I mean, getting the Hextech Soul is a pretty big prize. But I'm just not sure that they're going to be ready for this fight because of the item breakpoints that have just come through. 3 items complete pretty much across the board for everyone on the side of TDK. So we'll see if that's going to be enough to set them up towards victory.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the Infinity Edge is now finished by Kaisa here, and that's a really big item there. Is now they're dashing forward. The bait shield is not going to land on anyone, but this is going to put Srisai in the middle. The team there is aiming down, looking to dive forward, but is going to bite off a little bit more than they can chew. And they've already finished off 2 kills in this. That's going to be the showstopper coming in onto Zedster here. He's taken incredibly low, trying to deal with Cypher Soul here, trying to dash backwards, but here comes Srisai in from the side, going to have that tank damage to take down that big HP bar. His Vision of Empire is just knocking around Rorschach here as well. It's the big ace, 5 for 1. The only thing they had to pay for was Saber's waifu, and now double Dragon Soul point for both the teams here, tied up at 3 for 3, and they're going to have some time to push with the Baron buff as well. The red team coming out pretty big with a big win here.
Yeah, and getting a bunch of extra gold off of that, getting a bunch of kills as well. That's going to be pretty beneficial going into what will probably be a game-deciding soul fight. But the game might have been already decided off of that, with the gold lead springing up over 8,000 now. I was still hoping that with this Baron buff we'd see the base be broken, but TDK playing it out pretty slowly, looking to just take out all of the jungle resources instead. Make sure that they're not giving over any extra gold to UQTR. So that's always a respectable way to go about things. But that does mean that there's still some room to get out onto the map. There's no areas that are being constantly pushed in by the minions. They can just bounce the waves back here, and they should be in position to contest on these next two objectives. It's only a matter of whether they'll be strong enough.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, this is already looking like a late game that is definitely in favor of Team Death Knights Blue here. They're up 8,000 gold, and we're getting to the point where this gold lead doesn't exactly matter. But this is definitely indicative of like a lot of the items that they've been able to finish so far. Zedster finds Vision of Empire down here, pulls him into the Shadow Realm. Yami no Gameu, but Vision of Empire is going to steal that ultimate right back here. Probably going to pull him back the second he gets out as Srisai is teleported down to the bot lane here and is dueling Rorschach 1v1 as Zedster comes out of the Shadow Realm, but Vision of Empire just pulls him right back in. Looking to get the kill on a Mordekaiser here, might be able to get it, and he is successful as now that's going to be the damage onto Rorschach here, and the CC as well. Beast dives forward looking for Srisai here, but it's definitely only going to pop the GA as now they're on the backside here, aimed down to so much damage, but they can't seal the deal. 4 for nothing in the bot lane. Team Death Knight Blue comes out huge, and now they're looking for more.
Yeah, I think Turtles is going to be low on the luck here. Even if Turtles does survive, I don't think that the base will. The death timer's getting pretty deep now. Going to be still 20 seconds before anyone else can respawn. And the entirety of Team Death Knights is charging towards the Nexus. This should do it for game number 1. Pretty cleanly played out. It was a lot closer in the early game. Turtles finally going to fall here. That will be the ace to end the game. But once we got to the mid game, it was just a very measured game coming through from Team Death Knights. They're able to show that they knew what they were doing in drafting this comp. They made the use out of the Senna Cassante bot lane, and they paid it off with a victory in game number 1.
Yeah, I mean, this was really well played by them for sure. I mean, it was a bit of a rocky start for sure. Vision of Empire was falling behind in CS in the top lane. The Diamond and Saber, his waifu, had to constantly be mending wounds as they were taking really bad trades down in the bot lane and not able to approach the wave in a lot of cases. And it was just running. It felt like they were just falling behind too quickly, but they were able to turn it around closer to this mid game here, especially after acquiring a lot of those neutral objectives, finding a lot of team fight wins for themselves, and slowing down the pace of the game enough that they could reach the late game status that they needed for their Senna, for their Sejuani, for their Cassante. As now you saw that last team fight there, it was close, but it was no cigar. As Cap's not able to seal the deal in a lot of those fights that they were doing.
Well, with that in mind, going into the Game 2 draft, we saw a lot of the bruiser-type champions in Game number 1. I think that with the tank items, I wouldn't be surprised to see that become more of the meta as far as the preseason goes. And I think that that'll probably get changed up before we get to the first patch of pro play next year. But I do think that for the time being, we're going to have a lot of tanks. And that makes me wonder what type of ADCs are appropriate to go with that. I mean, the Senna buffing up the tanks, allowing you to get an extra bruiser type champ in the bot lane seems to be working. But I wonder if we can't see something like a Vayne popping up here now to just help navigate the muddy waters of being in a situation with so many tanks.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, we are going to take just a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be on the rift of game. We're going to be in picks and bans, excuse me, of game number 2 of Esports Caps UQTR versus Team Death Knights Blue. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, Style fans. Welcome back to Style Esports. If you're joining us for the first time, my name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Tiger58, and here we are in picks and bans of game number 2 of our featured match for this evening. Esports Caps UQTR is taking on Team Death Knights Blue, and Team Death Knights Blue is currently up 1-0 after that long game. They were able to scale past their opponents and take them for a pretty hectic team fight ride towards the end of the game here, as we're taking a look now at some of these picks here. We're banning away the Seraphine, we're banning away the Silas, we're banning away the Yone. Two champions out of the 3 were big champions that were able to lead Esports or Team Death Knights Blue to victory in the previous game, and not a whole lot of changes from Team Death Knight Blue here, as we are getting the picks finally ready here for game number 2. Tiger, you ready?
Yeah, I'm a little bit surprised to see Caps staying on the blue side after having that selection in game number 1, not having it go so well. Any red side enjoyers in the chat? But anyways, gonna be stealing away the Sejuani here, so looking to change things up that way. Getting the swap of junglers actually potentially still flexibility on this Mordekaiser pick, but I think that picking up the Sejuani first maybe going to be the type of decision that I'm seeing from Caps to go towards the pick comp instead of trying to go for such a big team fight oriented comp.
Yeah, we do see an interesting pick locked in here. It seems like the Diamond wanted to basically play this champion in the previous game, but wasn't able to do so. But Nyla is locked in for Team Death Knights Blue here. Definitely a champion that has a pretty high skill floor here. You know, it takes a lot to be good at that champion, but once you are good, she is devastating to try to deal with. Now, whether she's going to be able to deal with all the tanks that Esports Caps UQTR have drafted here, you know, that is yet to be seen. But let's see how Esports Caps UQTR deals with this kind of interesting pick here that was banned away in the previous game.
Yeah, we were talking before about what type of AD carry is going to be able to navigate these areas with a lot of tanks in them, a lot of melee champions. Neela going to be the answer here from TDK, switching it up from the Senna that they went with last game. And they're going to bring a cat along with them. Oh boy, it's time for some Yumi action. And we got a lot of champions that are going to be in the melee vicinity once again, but a lot more mobility this time and a lot less tankiness from Team Death Knights.
Yeah, for sure. As yeah, like you said, we're getting the cat here, and I'm sure every single person watching League of Legends excited. Everyone loves a good Yumi gameplay. That's what I read on Reddit, on Twitter, on the League of Legends forums, if they still existed. Everyone loves Yumi. That is the consensus that I have learned and gathered. I am a high-tech advanced AI here to learn what champions League of Legends players like. Yumi, number 1.
Big cat lovers in the chat, of course, but maybe Caps listening in on the conversation here, picking up that Vayne. Gonna be looking to go for some damage in some of these situations but there aren't a lot of big tanky champions on Team Death Knights, so a little bit of an interesting situation where they get the Vayne, but they're not getting the situation to go with the Vayne. And it looks like a solo lane marksman coming in here. I think that it's going to be a potential top lane Akshan into the gangplank. R5 counter pick, TDK using it wisely here, and now they're going to have an opportunity. Once again, some pretty short range comps. I do like the gangplank. It's the blind here from Caps, but the Akshan should be able to take advantage of it in lane.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Akshan is always a champion that I personally love to see, even though I am not a big fan of Akshan. You know, I wish he didn't have the res on his W. I think he's perfectly fine without it, but you know what? Hot take. Hot take. The Ruination story needed a Mary Sue, and there's Akshan. A perfectly fine champion that didn't need Mercy res. But here we are. I'm gonna stop complaining about Akshan. I actually think Akshan is actually pretty well situated against this team. It's going to be a little awkward to be against the Braum, but being able to finish off some low health targets from Team Death Knights Blue is going to be very useful with that comeuppance.
Yeah, so with the Akshan being into the game playing most likely, that makes me wonder if we're going to see any more ganks this time around. Zedster taking away the Sejuani. That means that there's definitely going to be the potential to go for some more ganks. Cypher Soul wasn't going for all that many ganks for TDK, but the ones that did come out were to a high degree of success. So that ended up being You don't need a lot of them, but you need to find effectiveness. So if you need to do a lot of them to get the effectiveness, then that's what I need to see from Zedster.
Hmm. Yeah, and so we saw Zedster on the Mordekaiser last time. We're seeing a complete swap of these two junglers here.
What's the
Zedster
worst
on the
that could
Sejuani this
happen?
time, and it's going to be Cypher Soul on the Mordekaiser as well. And now this is going to be a pretty interesting time to see how each of the junglers is going to deal with playing their opposing jungler's thing. And now here we are. Let's see how this is going to play out for sure. Because I don't know if I was 100% impressed with the Mordekaiser pick for sure, but it definitely was something.
Well, there was that one fight where Zedster was able to use those resistances effectively. They got, I think, a 4-for-0 or a 5-for-0, and they were able to get the third Drake. That's like the dream scenario that you pick the Mordekaiser thinking of. So we'll see if that actually comes to fruition, if Team Death Knights are going to be able to make that happen a little bit more consistently. But that's the reasoning in my mind why I'm seeing the Mordekaiser as the matchup for this Sejuani. One thing to note is that when you have the Mordekaiser in the jungle, you kind of lose the potential to use the Mordekaiser ult to turn your 50-50 smite fights into guaranteeing your success, which is why I like Mordekaiser top a little bit more. But Mordekaiser's clear is pretty good too, so it's not like it's a bad jungle pick. Uh, but I think that picking it into the Sejuani does make sense. So we'll see if it's going to be a little bit better this time around. I do like the draft once again coming out here from Team Death Knights, but there's been some adaptations coming out as well that I liked from Caps, especially this Gangplank. I think Rorschach's going to get an opportunity to potentially put the team on his back.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we saw Rorschach really run away with that kind of top lane on the volley bear, right? And now that the Silas is kind of not there, there's a little bit more breathing room for Gangplank to really shine here. And by putting Rorschach on a carry top laner, I think more so than the volley bear, you do kind of give Rorschach kind of an avenue to be successful and, like you said, put the team on their back, right? To be a carry potential for their team, right? We're going to see Turtles be a tank. We're going to see Aim Down build more tanky. We're going to see Zedster be the tank as well in the initiator. Let Rorschach be the carry, right? And that's what I love about this Gangplank pick here for sure. I think my only problem with both, and it's a problem with both of these teams too. It is insanely easy to defensively itemize against both of these teams. There's so much physical damage, right? A little bit less with Team Death Knights, but I'll amend that statement because they have the Akali and the Mordekaiser, so they have a little bit of a flexible, right? But they don't really have a front line for them, right? So Team Death Knights Blue might be able to build some plated steel caps to see if they're able to really make something worth out of their like kind of not really front line. But that will be some good pickups for them for sure, considering how much physical damage is on Esports Caps UQTR here.
Yeah, the plated steel caps definitely could help here, but you have to also remember that Vayne does a lot of true damage, so that kind of mitigates the effectiveness of just building. It shouldn't be straight armor at the very least. Like you
Yeah.
can build some armor that's going to have some effectiveness, but you're going to get your diminishing returns, and you're also going to lose out if you don't build offensively as well. So I think that we're going to be looking for a balance from these teams. Some plated steel caps definitely for Cypher Soul's Mordekaiser. Maybe even for Srisai's Akali, because Akali's in a weird spot where unless you want to build the Sork shoes, you don't have a lot of optimal boots, but you have a lot of good options. And of course, Yumi doesn't need to buy boots, so I don't think that we'll see anyone else with them on that side. Plated steel caps may be going to come out for aim down set and Zedster's Sejuani as well, but once again, they're into some magic damage, so they could just as well go either way.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, we're going to take just a quick break. And when we come back, we're going to be on the Rift of game number 2 of Esports Caps UQTR versus Team Death Knights Blue. Will UQTR be able to turn this around and bring us to a game 3? Or will Team Death Knights Blue seal the deal and make this a 2-0? Answers to all those questions and more will be right after at the other end of this break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after this. Hello, Style fans. Welcome to Summoner's Rift. Welcome to Style Esports Playoffs Season 13. And welcome to game number 2 of Esports Caps UQTR versus Team Death Knight Blue. We are about to get this game underway. So we have a bit of an invade squad moving around the jungle for the blue team here, but maybe just here to play some wards. They have spotted out Akshan. They have spotted out Akali, but it doesn't seem like they're looking for anything more. My name is Shinkari. I'm joined by Tiger58, and we're ready to get this game number 2 underway. Tiger, you excited?
Yeah, I'm always excited to see some League of Legends going down. Two high quality teams coming in here today. It's the 1 and 4 seed from this region. I think this is Demacia. I got my wires crossed up on that when I was just trying to think back now. But I do think that it's the Demacia region. But I know that Caps UQTR is the 1 seed, and we've got TDK Blue is the 4 seed. So getting a little bit of an upset on that first game. We'll see if it continues. They're playing to get into the semifinals here. And always gotta play your best once you get into that playoff time. Am I right, Shinkari?
Yeah, for sure. We're really going to have to see how this game plays out because we have a lot of very interesting picks. We've got Vision of Empire on the Akshan in the top lane. We've got Nyla by Dud Diamond in the bot lane. I'm really excited to see how this game plays out because their team is definitely oriented for a lot of damage here. Holy.
Does the Diamond have something against ranged champions? I mean, it's not too often that we see an ADC player playing 2 melee champions to start out the match.
Yeah, I wonder if the rest of the champions and their champion player like Yasuo, Tom Kench, who knows? Who knows? What else
Samira.
was set?
Samira, probably.
Yeah. Gangplank, a cheeky
Technically.
gangplank.
Yeah, Gangplank bot.
But yeah, I mean, I think you're right. I've never seen an AD carry just pick so many melee champions here. And while Nyla is like the most like I think it's the most like loose term when it comes to melee because I feel like her auto attacks have like a decent range to her. It's like Rakan being, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's one of those mid-range melee champions. They actually just changed Rakan from being technically coded as a ranged champion to being a melee champion, so that was a nice little change there on this most recent patch. Vision of Empire getting ganked.
Yeah, he's in a whole lot of trouble here. He's going to be stunned up. He's got nowhere to go. He tries to use that grappling hook, but it's going to be first blood up in the top lane for Rorschach.
Yeah, that's right where they wanted it. I wanted to see ganks from Zedster. We're getting ganks from Zedster right in the right place at the right time. Rorschach going to be able to pick up that kill. That's going to do a lot of work to swing this matchup. Vision of Empire getting that counter pick R5 with the Akshan, but once you're behind against a Gangplank, it doesn't really matter who you are. It's going to be a tough matchup.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, Gangplank is just a champion that's really hard to come back to lane if you are ahead, right? Like this is really, really tough for this Akshan as this continues, right? And Rorschach has gotten ahead previously, so we should be able to continue to see them as we go. So let's see if we are going to see more plays from Rorschach up in the top lane here.
Looks like we're getting a bit of an invade from Cypher Soul, maybe looking for a gank in the mid lane as well. Trying to get some activity on the opposite side after Vision of Empire gives up that first blood in the top lane to the gank. Re-gank coming through from Zedster perhaps was on some vision there. So that's why we're seeing some of this invade, getting some deep wards. We'll see if that extra information is going to help Team Death Knight set up.
Yeah, as Diamond here looking for Cap's piece. They have all of the summoner spells coming out here, but he's going to be stunned up and kept away from Beast here. Not going to be able to secure that kill down in the bot lane there, but definitely going to provide enough pressure to force the blue team to back away.
Yeah, able to stop the backs too, but Zedster's here.
Wait a minute, yeah, they're diving right back here to Diamond, taking incredibly low. Turtle's looking for the last bit of damage, but Saber's wife, who's going to be able to bop and block in order to keep Diamond alive, and Saber's wife, who's going to be able to find the kill down in the bot lane as well. So going to be able to find a 1-for-0 down there, but it does go over to the cat.
Was that a Scorch? Was that?
Ooh, wait a minute. Cypher Soul's down here as well. The Diamond is pretty far deep underneath the turret here, taking a whole lot. Zedster might be able to seal the deal, but there's so much healing for the Diamond here. That's going to be Saber's waifu healing them up. Double kill for Nyla. Holy.
This is the certified cat moment. You cannot kill the champion if the cat is attached.
Yeah.
This is just a fact of life. You're going to have to be dealt with here. They don't really need to be going for this play bot either. I mean, for Caps, they don't need to be looking too much to get some of the kills when they've already gotten the first kill onto Rorschach. Level 6 now coming through. Going to have that cannon barrage to try to impact some of these plays. But if the plays are going poorly to begin with, it's hard to salvage them with just a cannon barrage. Going to need a little bit more on the back end of that, but still, it's going to be a pretty close game at this point. A slight advantage, about 1,000 gold going over, especially in the bot lane. The Diamond is pretty powerful now, but still anyone's game, and we'll see who can get towards this first Drake.
Yeah, I think the big stat I want to look at for Nyla, especially with the ooh, wait a minute, Resai in some trouble. You're going to be able to get away. The big thing I want to take a look at is lifesteal. The Diamond on the thing I've noticed about all the Nyla players is that lifesteal is insanely good. Whatever build you thought was good for Samira, it's probably good on Nyla as well. I personally like to see the I personally like to see the life steal. I like to see the bloodthirster and the immortal shield bow. Just having the diamond be able to really stay in the fight as long as possible. Is now Turtles is rooted up here as the diamond is going to get stunned up by the passive, but they're going to pop the ultimate there and finish off the Braum as Pace trying to get a little away for just a moment, and Zedster's going to be able to body block for them, trying to debate whether or not to go back into the fight. The diamond is going to live to tell the tale. 1-for-0 down the bot lane.
Yeah, this is why it's arguable that Yuumi is a tank support, because, like, you can just body block a bunch of stuff and then you never die because you just attach back. Like, it's weird to think of Yuumi as a tank because she's, like, the least tanky champion in the game, but the fact that you can be completely untargetable kind of makes the tankiness play style something that's similar to what Yuumi does there, and that's just adding to how difficult it is to deal with this bot lane. Diamond now getting a 3rd kill, getting a 20 CS lead, that probably allowing the first Drake to go over. Team Death Knight's in a great spot.
Yeah, and now look at this. Comeuppance coming on to Rorschach up in the top lane, but not going to be able to have the level enough in order to seal the deal up on the top lane there. So Vision of Empire is just going to be able to force Rorschach to maybe back, or force him at least to chug some potions here. As the red team does secure the first Drake of the map, it is a Mountain Drake, and it looks like we're going to see Chemtech Drake as the next one. As Zedster coming in from the side, not going to be able to really pressure Vision of Empire there. They're going to back away.
Yep, so with that first Drake, they're going to be able to start stacking. Who's taken pretty early.
Ooh, they're still fun. That's the Lost Chapter coming out on a piece here. Going to get rooted up, but the Diamond is already long gone before they're looking to really extend that here, but they're looking to all in. Maybe Vision of Empire here gets stunned up inside the grappling hook. Rorschach taken incredibly low here. Might be able to turn it to a 1-for-1, but Caps up in the top lane are way too strong. And now here comes Risai in from the side. They're going to use that Gangplank ultimate, but Zedster pulled into the Shadow Realm. Yami no Gameu. Cypher Soul looking for something here. He's taken incredibly low. Doesn't die inside the Shadow Realm, but Risai does pick up a double kill.
Yeah, Cypher will send your soul to the Shadow Realm. This time around, the Mordekais are finding that early game agency and be able to set up a couple kills. And it was a good play to start out with, but the counter is just too strong. Team Death Knight is going to be coming out on top again.
The Diamond here just taking so much damage off of this Braum passive. I feel like alone, right? The Turtles and Peace have been doing such a good job of just blocking the advances from the Diamond here. But look at this. Dodging up the auto attacks just a little bit towards the tail end of that Braum passive is really what's going to keep them alive this time around.
Yeah, just been difficult for Peace to navigate this lane. Not even level 6 yet. Dropping 2 levels behind right now. Probably gonna tick over here pretty soon. Yep, now he's just gotten to level 6. But right now, 2 levels behind Saber's waifu, so gonna have to find some more CS to recover from that. Gold going over on the plates as well. Peace had probably the best game of anyone on Caps last game, but now gonna have to find another one here.
Yeah, as now Diamond in some trouble here. Zedster has shown up, but the Lost Chapter might give them some space to work with. That's going to be the exhaust coming out as well. The Glacial Prison goes wide, and now Peace is in some trouble. Has popped that Vayne ultimate, so does get that invisibility. Is now Diamond in some trouble one more time as Zedster re-engages. Glacial Fissure comes out, and Diamond is stunned up, but they're still looking to keep this fight going. As Cypher Soul still in this bottom lane. Diamond on a dangerously low a bet of HP. They pull him back in. Diamond gets 1. Diamond gets 2. Can they get more? Turtles on low HP, but Cypher Soul can't go underneath the turret. It's going to be 2-for-0 down in the bot lane, and 2 of those kills are on Diamond.
Yeah, Diamond able to find the kills in the fight. I was concerned for Diamond because the health bar was low, and not only was the health bar low, mana also was almost exhausted, but able to come back in right at the end, able to get enough mana for an E and a Q, able to find the kills in the fight. And once again, we're in a spot. Oh, it's Gale Force now, so this isn't going to be the Immortal Shield Bow Neela that becomes pretty difficult to kill. It's going to be the Neela that just shows up and assassinates you before you even have a chance to react.
Yeah, this is going to be a lot of damage, but I don't know if I like it, right? Because this is while they are ahead here, we are making our way towards that Titan steel, right? That big tank item for both the jungler, oh, excuse me, and the mid laner here. So I don't know if this is a good idea.
Yeah, I think that from ahead, the best items are the ones that give you damage but also make you harder to kill. So I would have liked to see, if you're not going to go for the Immortal Shield bow, okay, but rush Bloodthirst.
Oh, yeah, aim down here in the mid lane, looking to return some damage or something, but Srisai is way too powerful. Not going to be able to take them down this time as to Diamond one more time down in the bot lane. The exhaust is going to come out onto them, but they're not going to be able to look for a little bit more as Vision of Empire is in some trouble up here. The comeuppance is coming across on the Rorschach here. Might be able to find something, but does not have a way to get over to them. Stunned on the wrong half of the map. That's going to be the Gangplank ultimate coming across. Grappling hook comes out. Can you get away? Does the Legend of Zelda item save you this time? Absolutely not. Rorschach is going to be able to find a kill in the top lane.
Yeah, Rorschach still doing good for his part. Getting to 3-1-0 now. Zedster still making some ganks happen. But this bot lane tower, we're going to go down all 5 plates to Diamond in that strong spot. Now looking for more kills.
Ooh, yeah, that's going to be the lost chapter coming across into Diamond one more time. Successful getting a kill, and they're even going to gift one over to Yuumi as well, as sneakily enough, Cypher Soul picks up a kill onto the Drake as well, putting them onto 2 Drakes now and picking up 3 of the first 4 objectives.
Seems a bit excessive to me that these 3 wards in the bottom lane are just standing all next to each other. I'm not sure what the situation is on that, but right now it's just been difficult to get anywhere, so maybe that's the only place that you can put wards down if you're Turtles. The Diamond trying to steal away this red buff, maybe ill-advised, gonna try to just get out now.
Yeah, that's going to be the blast cone over the wall here, so Diamond is free to go. Be able to get, but look at where Vision of Empire is. They're going to pull Zedster back in, get a lot of that damage. They pulled him into the Shadow Realm. Yami no Gemu. Cypher Soul comes out with those star chips and one step closer to Battle Kingdom Finals. Duelist Kingdom Finals.
Be able to take that fight pretty easily. The cards, you're gonna need a better heart of your cards if you're Zedster. Maybe the heart steal will be the heart that he needs, but I think that I'm not going to give him the advantage even with that heart steal adding up now. So I think that right now Cypher Soul showing why this Mordekaiser is the pick in the jungle. 1-0-4, getting a lot of value there. Although it's easy to get a lot of value when your bot lane is this fed.
Yeah, Rorschach here even fighting some trouble by Diamond here, who's okay, mate. I think Diamond really underestimated how much damage Rorschach could do there as they take nearly half their HP bar in one hit there. Now Srisai down the bot lane looking for peace, but it looks like he's more of looking for violence. So
yeah, we'll see if the fight comes up. Zedster and Turtles waiting in the wings here. Going to be giving up Prio over the mid lane for this.
Oh, yeah, that's going to be the Glacial Fissure over the wall and the Gangplank ultimate as well. Diamond is below half HP. They're looking for the re-engage. That's going to be them taking down Nyla ultimate as well. These HP bars are just melting before Diamond here. He's looking for more. He's got the double kill underneath the turret. Holy moly.
Well, who needs to have an immortal shield, though, when you have an immortal cat?
Yeah.
This is the way of things. Diamond gonna be able to pick up one more. I think Saber's waifu was tanking up the turret shots there. You'll love to see that. That's the turret aggro juggling of the teams with the cat. That's going to be another tower going down. They're going to be able to pick up a Rift Herald. Team Death Knights even more clean this game than they were last.
Yeah, I mean, this is really why you don't want to have Diamond let them have the Nyla there. It's so incredibly powerful, and they've been playing it so well as Srisai on the Akali here, does not land the other Shuriken there, so it has to re-engage. There's R1. Caps, that's going to be a pull. Pulling them in. This is actually really close. Facebreaker to pull them back in, but flashes away. Srisai looking for the Shuriken to re-engage, but not going to be able to get it this time. So, going to back away with both of them real low on HP.
Yeah, that's why you pick the set into the Akali. Just a little bit difficult to finish the job onto a set once he gets into that low HP area. He just starts healing it back up. Going to be able to survive that one long enough to force Srisai to flash, but not able to get the kill on the back end of it. So good job by Srisai to be able to get out of it. Now Vision of Empire has been in trouble a few times this game, once again in a pretty rough spot.
Yeah, luckily he's got oh man, what's the name of that game? I can't think of it right now. What's the other popular game where you have like a grappling hook and you can like jump off it? It's like an open world game. You know what I'm talking about? Spider-Man, yes, he's gonna use his Spider-Man powers. I was thinking of something else though, but the Diamond might be able to find something here. That's the Nihil ultimate. So much damage. Piece goes down, and now the Diamond has to heal through this. That's the redemption coming through, but I don't think they can sit in the circle. But look how much healing this Yumi is doing. Oh no! Oh, 4 versus 2. Srisai did come in at the last moment there to help clean up some kills, but holy!
Sometimes I like to appreciate the skill of the Yumi player. That was just kind of mashing all of the heal buttons at once. I mean, it was effective, so I ain't gonna knock it, but at this point, this is being so fed that you don't have to use your skill expression to be able to
Yeah.
utilize the champion. And the Diamond making all of the use of all that healing. That is a lot of skill expression on the Neela. No one can counteract that statement.
Yeah,
but
for sure.
I think the Diamond gonna be pretty difficult to kill off at all this game with the help from Saber as waifu.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they've even gone out and given themselves a soul point as well. They've shoved in so many turrets, and I don't think the Diamond even wants to back. I think, okay, well, never mind. I was going to say he's looking, oh, yeah, here comes Srisai here. They're looking for Rorschach. Here comes Comeuppance from the Akshan there, and they're looking for a little bit more. Rorschach incredibly low. Srisai dashes forward with the R1. Where are they going, though? Turtle real low underneath the turret here. Use the grappling hook and the ignite as well. Going to be able to find it as Srisai dives forward on top of the vein. Going to be able to find that there. Zedster throws down the Glacial Prison. Vision of Empire incredibly low. They're trying to get something out of this, and Set is going to be able to get it aimed down. Is going to get 1 kill for themselves as well as a shutdown, but it's 3 for 1 in favor of the Death Knights.
Yeah, that's the medium-sized shutdown, so they're able to get a decent chunk of gold off of it. Not that that eats very much into what is currently a 13,000 gold lead. That's going to take a while to overcome. Haven't been watching that too closely because I just assumed it was pretty big, but it's sometimes fun to just admire the magnitude. You just have to wonder how much longer before the Baron is on the menu here. I think that it is important to note that the scaling with the Vayne, with the Gangplank is pretty good for Caps. So you can't just let this game go on forever. But the 3 Drake advantage definitely going to help. And picking up a Baron here wouldn't hurt too badly either.
Yeah, I mean, this is really easy to do. Zedster shows up to try to do something, but oh no, Zedster's just like, wait, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to be here. Yeah, you guys can have the Baron, okay. They're gonna go down. As now it's just, oh man, it's just really hard to see a way back into this game for sure. They've got those big tank items online. Rorschach does have the big damage Prowler's Claw, but they're so far behind. They're 1.5 to 2 items here for their team, where the other team is like 2.5 to 3 in some of these cases here. So, you know, the big thing to maybe look for is maybe a shutdown on Vision of Empire. Maybe you're looking to him for some kills because he's not doing so great for the team here. But, you know, it's really hard to make any sort of aggressive movements against a team that's so far ahead.
Yeah, it's probably just going to have to be opportunistically finding any pick where it's like a 4v1 or 5v1 situation. but it's just so hard to do whenever the Diamond's always with Saber's waifu.
Yeah, as now Srisai in some trouble in the mid lane. Rorschach is going to be able to find that kill there, but you know,
Yeah.
the raid boss that is the Diamond is still alive and still shoving in this top lane here, and the entirety of UQTR is here to answer. Does the Diamond want to fight this? They're pulling them in. That's going to be so much CC onto them already. Can you face smash all the healing buttons to keep them alive? The Diamond gets to one. Can they get more? They're healed. Oh, finally they go down. The shutdown goes over to Rorschach here as Cypher Soul in the Shadow Realm. That's going to be the shutdown onto Yuumi as well. Zedster is going to be here running them away, but Vision of Empire looking to finish them off. Comeuppance comes across, but it's going to be blocked up. It's going to be 1 for 3 and 2 huge shutdowns for the blue team.
Yeah, that's exactly what they need to do. They need to do that about 5 more times to be even close on the gold, because there's still 13,000 down. But
Ooh, yeah, aim down, getting a huge shield here, but I think the red team might be staying just a little too long here. That's another shutdown for Rorschach.
well, getting the shutdowns onto Rorschach, that's the right man for the job. Gonna have to be doing a lot more of that, but for the time being, getting kills back in the direction of Caps, that'll stabilize the game a little bit. They're gonna have to find a way to contest the Ocean Soul here in 50 seconds. I imagine that they're more likely just gonna have to give it. I don't think that they're going to be able to actually fight for this one. I'd say just give the Ocean and then fight for Elder, because the situations where you're going to get kills, the Ocean Drake isn't going to matter anyways. That's not going to stop you from getting kills. It's just going to make it so that a situation where you already weren't going to win a fight, you probably get even less HP chunked off of the enemy team.
Yeah, as now, here we are, 10,000 gold, 11,000 gold in the lead. We've got dragons, the last dragon for Ocean Soul. Reminder, that's a huge win for them. They're able to pick it up. The Diamond dives right in. The Lost Chapter is coming across. That's going to be the heal from Redemption coming out just the last minute there. Aim down, not able to finish the kill there. Neither is Peace, and 2 kills for the Nyla. 1 for the Gangplank, another for the Akshan and the Kali. It's a full ace. It's a clean ace for DKB here. And now they're going to finish off the Drake. They're going to get the Ocean Soul. They're marching right down the mid lane. This might be the end of the game.
Well, they sure tried, Caps did. They went for a play. They almost were able to get the Diamond at the beginning of the fight. Maybe it looks different without the Diamond able to do damage on the back end. I kind of think it doesn't, but I definitely appreciate continuing to go towards making the play anyways. Looks like this won't be quite the end of the game just yet. Just a couple of inhibs going down. The Nexus Tower starting to take some damage. Caps maybe trying to chase on the exit.
Yeah, the Diamond in some trouble here, but that's the Lost Chapter coming across, and there's the re-engage. They've gotten 1, and that's going to be aimed down, pulled back into the team here. Haymaker, huge damage onto Diamond here, but immediately heals it all the way back up. Rorschach 1v1ing Vision of Empire on an ego duel on the backside here, but not going to be able to be honored by the rest of the red team here as they slam down the Mace. Cypher Soul picks up that kill there. Zedster and Peace are the only members who have. Srisai dives right in. Peace eliminated. Stunned inside the summoner platform. Srisai goes down, but Zedster's got nothing left in the tank to defend against so many fed members of the Death Knights Blue. The Nexus is the only thing that stands between them and victory. They might have something here if they stay with it. Turtles respawns. They throw out the Glacial Fissure. The Comeuppance comes across. Turtles is real low. The Redemption comes across. Folks, just come on, hit the Nexus. This is getting a little too much here. Aim down runs and respawns here, diving right in, but the Nexus goes down. GG, well played. 2-0 victory for Team Death Knight Blue.
Yeah, the Diamond popping off here in game number 2. 18-1-7 on the Neela. Not quite able to land the perfect score, but still pretty impressive. Going to be looking to continue that. And the upset 4 seed going over the 1 seed out of the Rumble stage into the semifinals. Well done there by Team Death Knights Blue. And we'll see if they can continue this momentum as they're going to try to get on towards the finals next week.
Yeah, they do move on to the semifinals here to face Illinois College in the semifinals. And it looks like Esports Caps UQTR is going to move down to fight Ragnarok Heimdall in the knockout stage of the bracket here. So we still have lots of League of Legends action in the Demacia bracket here. So keep your eyes on for sure. But man, what a game number 2 from Team Death Knights Blue. Am I right? I mean, they're showing why you can't let them have the Nyla pick for sure.
Yeah, that one gonna be a lot of focus on the bans. We saw it banned out in game number 1, but that was a very impressive performance there. But all around on the side of Team Death Knights Blue, they had solid series. The mid jungle duo doing a lot of the heavy lifting in game number 1. Uh, Vision of Empire kind of being a weak side top lane and getting a lot of value out of just staying alive in the top side. Did well, especially in the second game in that. And I think that looking at this team, it's a pretty complete team. They played together really well. I like the synergies between Saber's waifu and the Diamond. They play a lot of champs that complement each other, as we can see. Even coming out with the Senna and Cassante bot lane, that was a pretty fun one to watch. But this is a team that doesn't have any glaring weaknesses out of this match.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, even when we saw them play a more traditional game of League of Legends, I mean, the only real weakness that I saw is that Akshan, Vision of Empire, wasn't exactly having a great time at the top lane. Rorschach was pretty much running away with that top lane matchup there in both matchups, right? Like Rorschach had an advantage in the Gangplank versus Akshan match and in the Volibear versus Silas, right? Uh, Vision of Empire was able to get some top lane attention in the first game, but for the most part, it seemed like Vision of Empire's top lane play was a little weak and was falling behind in terms of CS, and even was falling behind in terms of a lot of those 1v1 skirmishes or 1v1 trades we were watching.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if that's going to be an area that gets picked on in coming matches. I think that Vision of Empire is listed as a sub, so I'm not
Mm-hmm.
sure if the situation. I think that when I've watched Team Death Knight Blue before, I've seen them with Vision of Empire as their top laner, but he is listed as the sub, so it's potentially the case that they can bring in their main roster player, which I think was Shen Z, uh,
Mm-hmm.
and that could maybe shore up some of that potential weakness. But also, you just got to give some credit to Rorschach for playing the top lanes out pretty well. I mean, Vision of Empire, not a slouch of a player, obviously. All of these players are good. They're top tier players in Diamond and Master. But I think that Rorschach got to get a lot of credit there for the play of the Gangplank of the Volibear. And maybe that's where Caps need to look at playing through to help them get some victories coming up in future matches.
Yeah, for sure. But with that, that is going to be it from us tonight at Style Esports. GG's to both teams, but there can only be one victor, and tonight it's going to be Team Death Knights Blue moving on through the Season 13 playoffs bracket over to the semifinals. And let's best of luck to UQTR as they have to play in the knockout stage. But from everyone here at Style Esports, thank you all so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, press that follow button. We have League of Legends action for you to watch nearly every single day, just like this one you saw, and there's more to come as well. And if you're feeling generous, press that subscribe button. Helps us keeps the lights on here at Style Esports. Helps us out a whole lot. But from everyone here, thank you, my Tiger58, my co-caster for this evening. Thank you all so much for tuning in, and we'll see you at the next match. Bye-bye.